Welcome back to the Alpha Nerd Podcast, ghouls and gals. I'm your main host, Kyle, along with my gaming co-host, Andrew.
Hello.
How's it going, Andrew?
It's going pretty good. It's been a busy Spooktober.
Yep.
Played a lot of stuff. Time's still been crazy.
Yep.
Leaves are changing.
So, before we get too far in our spooky spectacular, I'm going to let everyone know right now, as I disappointed everybody due to technical errors, I was not able to finish Condemned 2.
I am disappointed.
I am disappointed in myself too, but we ran into some technical errors that me and you are still trying to resolve.
Okay. You have until next Monday. I'm going to point that out.
Yes, but I meant this is the last show of October. So if
Sure.
I do get it done, I'll just have to do a separate, talk about.
Yeah.
So, starting in our news, we're going to move right to there, and let's talk about the Bayonetta 3 controversy.
So, here's the... It is such a bad look overall. So, okay, for everybody. For those who don't know the story, Bayonetta 3, they went with Jennifer Hale over Helena Taylor for reasons unknown. Platinum originally said that it was a scheduling issue, and
they said something conflict. There was a conflict of something.
Yeah. They meant it in a scheduling.
It wasn't directly said scheduling.
Yeah, but when you say a conflict like that, you mean scheduling. They're not going to say we had a fight with her.
Yeah,
they're
using PR talk. They're using PR.
So that came out, and then Helena Taylor was like, "Oh no. They offered me $4,000 to play Bayonetta." And all right, right off the bat, $4,000 to play Bayonetta is a pathetic amount of money.
Yes.
That's just horrible. Now, voice actors don't get paid a lot to begin with, but $4,000 for all that dialogue and shredding her voice like that would have been nightmarish. So, here's the thing. Most people took her on good faith because, A, she wouldn't have had much in the way of incentive of lying, simply because she wasn't going to get... they weren't going to hire her for Bayonetta 3. It was already done. The game's done. It comes out next week.
Yeah.
She wasn't going to get anything for doing this.
Now, before we get one step, the thing she did is she waited all the way up until, last week or the week before?
I think it was...
To put out hey, the game's coming out, you should boycott it.
Yeah, and that was just... that's fine, but the biggest issue is Helena Taylor can't be that smart. And because it came out through a variety of sources that she was actually offered about $20,000-ish. It was like 15 to 20.
They offered her $4,000 per session.
Yeah.
Which,
so
looking at the current market, a regular session, which is about an hour to 2 hours, they usually get a standard of $1,000 per session. She was offered $4,000 a session with no extra revenue from sales or anything like that.
No residuals.
Residuals, that's the word I was looking for. So
yeah.
2 weeks ago, or at least a week ago, she came out with a series of Twitter posts and videos asking fans of the game to boycott the series because she, quote unquote, said they were making immoral offers to her financially. Like that the offer they made was immoral, which was a weird terminology for that.
Yeah, so the entire thing is so bizarre that she would just blow her entire career up to do functionally nothing. Like, what does boycotting Bayonetta 3 get her? Nothing. It doesn't get her any extra work. She becomes the voice actress that everyone knows not to work with. And now she's extra the voice actress that nobody wants to work with because it just came out she was lying, and she even acknowledged that she was lying. Her $4,000 number, I think, came from the final offer where they offered a $4,000 one-time fee for a cameo at the very end of the Bayonetta 3 development. And she sunk her career for that. Like, people are not going to hire her now for nothing. She did all that for no reason.
Yeah, and she was sitting there saying, I deserve 6 figs.
So, all right,
because
I'm gonna state that $20,000 against a $175 million property is pretty bad.
it definitely is not that high.
Oh, it
I
is. It's not. She claimed it was 500 million. The sales totals for the Bayonetta series is like 175 million.
Yeah, and that's not like including, and she got her numbers based off if every copy sold at the $60
Yeah,
or more.
she made a bunch of really bad assumptions, but I'm still saying $20,000 versus $175 million. If she got paid 20K per each, she made less than American median wages for those three games over a period of 12 years. And that's
But
assuming she got paid that much per game.
no, actually, the current contract where she's offered $4,000 per session is by far more than she got paid for the first two games.
Yeah, so she made like nothing compared to the total amount that those games bring in, which is an entirely separate conversation to have. Voice actors are still very much underpaid.
Yes, but I'm also onto the voices. Like, yes, voice actors are still underpaid, but at the same time, they're getting paid more per session than most people make.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, they don't get health insurance. They don't get any benefits or anything like that unless they're union voice actors, which she was not, which is very interesting because Platinum brought on Jennifer Hale, who is a union voice actress.
And they're paying her more.
Yeah, and they're paying her more. That's the mind-boggling thing. So there's definitely a sense from Platinum that they kind of wanted to get rid of Helena Taylor. Like, just in general, I think. I don't think they liked working with her for... You can pick a billion reasons at this point in the conversation, given the fact that she publicly lied about that stuff.
Well, the one reporter that you like
Jason
from
Schreier. Yeah, he's great. He's fantastic.
he came out with the information, and then she tried to run her mouth, and now I'm waiting for him to shred the shit out of her for it.
He already responded to that. He's like, I have the documentation. Like, you're lying. She even admitted she was lying.
Well, I already knew she was.
That's the craziest part. Like, she sunk all this for nothing for an easily disprovable lie. Like,
and that's my problem. If you're going to do shit like this, you need to have something as backup. Like, you need to have something to provide your argument. And she didn't. She was hoping that the quick to not think cancel culture, because there is a lot of cancel culture that does not think. They just instantly react to whoever says whatever first.
So
I think all her money was banked on them getting
what
leeway.
Money? She would have made anything. She doesn't. What would she do? Set up a GoFundMe?
No, not like literal money, but like.
Well, that's the craziest part about this entire situation is she stood nothing to gain from either option.
Yeah.
So
I think this was all a bitter person's thing.
I think her and like Hideaki Kamaya, or however you pronounce his name, I really think they had some falling out, and it got nasty, and she just escalated it without really comprehending what she was starting.
Yeah, well, he was talking some mad shit on his Twitter. If you saw some of his
shit, he
got
banned from Twitter. he actually got banned. He blocked so many people in such a short amount of time that Twitter considered him a bot and banned his account.
Well, did you see some of the shit he was posting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
He called her a fucking insect. Like, he was savage as shit. I will give him credit. That was savage as shit.
On the other hand, boy, is that not a professional look in any way, shape, or form.
And that's the problem. Is if it wasn't a professional setting, fine, fuck it. He fucking roasted her ass. But he's doing it as a representative.
That's a word. There you go. Yeah, he was Platinum Games. He runs Platinum Games. So the fact that he was on his Twitter just like taking her to the cleaners was just, I mean, yeah, it's hilarious, but it was also just wildly inappropriate. If I was a voice actor or if I was some kind of talent, I'm not sure about working with Platinum Games in the future because, you know, if I tick them off in any way, that dude's going to just eviscerate me on Twitter.
Yeah, like
professionally.
Yeah, right? Like, holy shit. I will give him credit. He was fucking lighting it, and I was laughing. But like you said, it looked very unprofessional.
Yeah.
This month in particular has been a good month for people who talk shit, getting all their ducks put in their place. Camilla got fucking banned from Twitter.
Yeah.
Kanye is now poor.
Don't even bring up Kanye. Don't bring up Kanye.
Come on, that was funny.
Also, he's not poor. He only has like $400 million now. If you classify that as poor, you should. I don't know how to like take that.
I'm sorry. He's going to be poor here sooner or later because no one's going to want to do business with him.
I mean, Adidas cut him off. So Adidas was $265 million a year or something like that.
Yeah, not even just Adidas. A bunch of other places are dropping him now too. Like every clothing thing he's ever attached to, they're all dropping him.
I saw he went to Skechers
and they kicked him out.
Yeah, so Kanye went to Skechers. Skechers was founded by a Jewish family and is still run by a Jewish family. Why?
He was quickly escorted from the building.
Why did he think that was a good idea?
Because he's fucking stupid.
God, it is deeply impressive how far away from... I know he's bipolar, and he's almost definitely not on his medication. But, like, at some point, you just gotta be like, come on, man. You're ripping yourself apart, and everyone in the world can see it aside from you.
But that's the thing I've noticed with people like him. They fucking start talking shit, and they talk so much shit, they start to believe their own shit, and then they escalate it further. Like, at some point, he's going to try starting his own cult, and you can quote me on that. He will start a cult.
Already. He had a church in California, which was pretty much a cult, I thought.
We'll see. We'll see until he drinks the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
We'll be getting more into that, into the cinema side of things. Entertainment side. The other piece of news,
Kanye is not covered by cinema or video games. You're gonna have to add music now, Kyle.
Maybe
Beats by Kyle.
We might get a Kanye show. I don't know who the fuck knows.
Just a purely Kanye hour.
Yeah. So the other piece of news we got is Konami announced a Silent Hill event. Did you get to watch it, or did you watch it post?
I just read the articles post. But I did watch the Silent Hill 2 remake stuff, and I was really excited until Bloober Team's name showed up.
Yes.
Bloober Team is not good.
Now,
at all.
Now, here's the thing. Bloober Team is very bad at writing and doing their own. They're good technically. Like, their technical aspect has always, their games have been decent. They look nice.
Yeah, it's true. The medium play well. The medium was pretty. I don't know if I'd call the medium play well. It was pretty clunky and uninteresting, mechanically speaking. It was gorgeous, though. It was a very pretty game.
Yeah, but, you know, I mean, at some point, not every game's going to be mechanically the greatest. Like, eventually you're going to run into very droll games. Like,
are you making the argument that, hey, not every game can be a good game?
No.
I mean, that's a technically correct statement.
No, it's more not every game can be functionally unique.
No, I'm not talking about it being unique. I'm talking about it being super clunky. Like, it just didn't feel good to run around in the medium. It felt bad. Like, you can't make the argument that not every game is going to feel unique. That's not what I'm talking about whatsoever. You can play 5 first-person shooters, and I can point to 4 of them and be like, these are terrible mechanically. Like, I can point to the 5th one and be like, the story's garbage, but this one is fun to play. Like, it's enjoyable. They nailed all the mechanics. Bloober Team does not nail mechanics. They don't even nail... The only thing they nail is graphics, honestly. That's what makes me very unexcited for the Silent Hill 2 remake. Like, it looks gorgeous, but it's Bloober Team, so it's gonna be skin deep unless they've really stepped up their game.
Well, I'm hoping what they decide to do, and it'd be in their best interest, is all they need to do is take established mechanics, like game mechanics. So, since it's looking to be over the shoulder like RE4 and stuff, then I think they have a nice, there's already preset nice feeling mechanics as far as that goes. They don't need to go crazy. I think if they,
I'm hoping they don't go crazy because
yeah, I'm hoping they just go, hey, we're gonna take RE4s or another game's already pre-established control scheme and do that. That's all they gotta do.
they accidentally
just,
they accidentally just sub in Leon Kennedy into Silent Hill 2.
right.
So yeah, I think it's gonna be a gorgeous game. I think it's gonna sell really well. I am not sure it's gonna be good because I don't have any faith that Bloober Team can actually execute this, like at all.
I have enough faith that I believe if they have, and I have a feeling Konami's gonna be all over their shit. Like they're gonna be leaning over their shoulder constantly.
I would hope so, but you also got to remember Konami brought us Metal Gear Survive, so
Yes. And I think they sorely regret that. And I think their little pachinko machine idea and all the other shit they tried didn't work out well. And this is their attempt to get back into the limelight.
So I saw was it you who posted it, or I saw a tweet that was like, I was really excited for Silent Hill 2 until I saw Bloober Team's name, and then I just wished it was a pachinko machine.
Nope, that was not me.
Okay, yeah, I saw a tweet like that. Somebody posted it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, that should have just... like, you were like, oh, yeah, this is going to be amazing, and then Bloober Team's name shows up, and you're like, okay, the pachinko machine might actually be better quality.
No, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because, like I said, I think Konami's going to just be all over their shit and micromanage because this is their biggest game.
So, wasn't it that the person who actually, the game director for Silent Hill 2 wasn't even notified that there was a remake? Like, he found out of it with everybody else?
I don't know about any of that.
So, they announced 3 games. Well, actually, no, they announced 2 games and a interactive experience.
No, they announced 3.
I thought F was like a weird interactive experience thing.
No, F is the last one that they announced at the very end of the thing, and it's a game. It's definitely a game. There is a weird one. Hold on a second.
Oh, that's the one in Japan. Okay.
Yes.
Made by Neo Bards Entertainment. Oh, fantastic.
So, I have faith. I'm hoping. I like I said, I believe Konami's gonna micromanage this because, like I said, they're bringing themselves back in the gaming limelight. So they're going to do everything they can to make this a success.
There we go. Townfall. That was the other game.
Yeah.
And it's being made by No Code. Oh, No Code made Observation. Okay, so all right. Silent Hill Townfall may be okay. Observation was a very good game.
So there's a lot of hope. There's a lot of things in the stirring pot. They re-announced that they're going to be doing movies again.
You have a lot of faith in Konami for all this stuff. Like, I have none at all. Like,
no, you don't.
Why would you?
I have to have faith. I have to have faith.
Why would you have to have faith, especially after the last couple Silent Hill games that came out, like Homecoming?
Yeah, but that was more the American teams because after Silent Hill 4, it was all the American teams.
All right, you realize 2 of these games are American and 1 is European, right?
Yes.
Okay. Just clarifying that you just were like, the American team sucks. 2 of these games are American.
The American team lost sight of what the point of the game was.
Is it to be silent on a hill?
Shut up.
What about there's no way to turn it. Hilly silence. What is a hilly silence?
I don't know. But that's where I'm at with it. I believe Konami's not going to let this fail. I believe Konami's going to micromanage and they're going to pump out a decent product. I believe that the Silent Hill 2 remake will be decent.
All right. I mean, you can have faith. I think this is roughly equivalent to a religious experience, though, because you really have to have faith.
I think it's actually going to be the Resident Evil 2 treatment.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I really hope you're right, because Resident Evil 2 was fan-frickin-tastic.
Exactly.
And I hope you are correct. I do not have faith in that whatsoever, because I know Capcom makes good games. I don't know that... I know for a fact Bloober Team does not. So, we'll see. We'll see how it is.
Some decent games under their belt.
What, Layers of Fear? Those were not that great. The medium was
Layers of
average at best.
Observer.
Wait, Observer was that the one with Rucker Hauer?
Yes.
Okay, that one wasn't bad. That was their first game, wasn't it?
No, I believe Layers of Fear was
Layers of Fear 1 was their first game. Okay.
Yeah. So 2016 Layers of Fear, 2017 Observer. They had Brawl in 2015.
I don't remember that game.
Basement Crawl in 2014.
Also don't know what that is.
A-Man.
What?
And yeah, they have a bunch of weird games.
Blair Witch. They made Blair Witch, which was a game that no one asked for whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it was intriguing, but it wasn't good. Like, it was cool that you fought all the monsters with light, but what did that have to do with the Blair Witch whatsoever? And
exactly.
Also, the entire ploy of the game was it's just a big forest that's pitch black, and you can just get lost sometimes, and good luck.
Yeah.
They seem to offer things that no one wants in a lot of cases. And
yeah.
I don't know. We can go in this cycle for days. I don't think it's going to be good. You think it's going to be good. We will see. We will see how it is. When's that supposed to release?
Good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. That's why I asked it.
I think they said sometime in 2023 or 2024.
All right, fair.
I can't remember because I was kind of looking at a bunch of other things at the same time.
So one of the other things I wanted to talk about news-wise is Gotham Knights came out, and the only thing I've seen so far about Gotham Knights, aside from it actually having a good story, is that it is a complete technical mess. Like, it's just one of the worst developed games of the past decade. It on a Core i9 processor and a NVIDIA 4090. So this is the most expensive, most powerful PC hardware you can get right now. It won't even run at 60 frames per second. At all. It's not because it's graphically gorgeous. It's because it's just it's a technical mess. It's so badly developed. And this game has already been delayed, I think, 2 or 3 times. On next-gen consoles, it runs at 30 frames per second. And it's really struggling to keep that.
This seems just up your alley, Andrew, because you're the guy who's like, it'll get better later after they patch it a bunch.
No. I assume it's just going to be a complete pile of shit, because some of the devs went on Twitter trying to defend what happened. They were like, oh, it's because we had to develop for the Xbox Series S. Okay, I really want those devs to explain how every other game manages to have 2 separate builds of the game for different machines, but theirs can't somehow. It's like trying to explain that you can't use a bowl because you're gonna have to eventually hold a stapler in your hand. It doesn't make any sense, and it's dumb. And also, I have no interest in this game whatsoever. It looks really bad. It looks like a game that Warner Brothers was like, oh crap, we're not gonna have the Suicide Squad game out in time. We need more money, so put out this game that no one really asked for.
Yeah, at all.
I've heard the story is actually good, but I just don't have any interest in another Batman game, especially one that does not star Batman at all.
Yeah, right.
I get it. It's 4-player co-op, and cool, but no, I'm good. I also find it amusing that the idea that games can become enjoyable experiences later on with fixes is an offensive one to you. That does not seem to are you an originalist in this case? Why do you make sure to turn off the automatic patching for all your consoles?
No.
Why not? Because patches make games better, though, Kyle. If you're playing a patched copy, can you truly be enjoying the game as it was made? Because you're not experiencing the original thing, the original product.
Okay, so we've circled this drain a number of times. So I am under the flag of, if you are going to release something, it should be released well. It just like you get a meal. You don't expect a meal to them bring you a half cooked meal and then cook it later and it'll be delicious. You expect your meal to show up ready to go, ready to eat, and delicious. Now, with that, there is always room for improvement. Like, hey, my steak was a little bit overcooked. So
Okay.
the next time they do a steak, they try to patch it up and fix that mistake, which is fine. You know, but that's my belief as far as like when they released Cyberpunk and No Man's Land, I believe they should not have released them yet.
Well, No Man's Land, I believe, is a book from the early 1900s. No Man's Sky is the video game that
Yes,
you're probably
whatever.
thinking of. Yeah.
Yes, sorry.
So in your analogy, in this case, it would be they brought you out raw chicken. You asked them to take it back, and then eventually they provided you with a tasty meal. But you refused that tasty meal because you were originally brought raw chicken.
Yes.
Okay. So what? The analogy is kind of weird there because you do get a good meal at the end, and you're refusing it because of the state of the past meal, even though you asked for it to be
It's
prepared.
not refusing it. It's just, I guess it is refusing it, but at the same time, especially with my analogy, would you go to a restaurant and be okay with them serving you raw chicken the first time?
No, absolutely not. I would have walked out. I wouldn't have even asked them to remake the dish, which is why I don't know why you are. Why do you keep flagging down that waiter? Why are you trying to get the dish remade, Kyle?
No, that's why I didn't play Cyberpunk, and that's why I didn't play No Man's Sky.
Cyberpunk is actually at 1 million people per day now on Steam.
I know it's
doing
because of the
crazy.
anime.
The,
'Cause-
they're doing an expansion pack. They're doing a sequel. They announced it's doing
that
gangbusters.
anime really killed it for them. That was a really
I've heard it's very good.
yes, it is.
Okay, I've heard it's fantastic.
It is very good.
Cyberpunk's at a state where it's mostly patched. I still don't think it's as good of a game as it should have been at all. Like they cut a lot of features that were very promising, but I can see why it's popular now because most of the bugs are fixed. You'll still see T-posing people every once in a while, or you have your car fly across half the map, but it's kind of in the state of, haha, that's a funny bug, rather than, oh my god, this is the 80th person to T-pose and break a quest line, like it was in 2020.
Yes. So now that we're done with the dreary and gray news and how much we hate certain things, let's move on to the good parts for you. Your spooky spectacular games.
Okay, so for Spooky Spectacular, I played Resident Evil 2 Remake from 2019, and I played Resident Evil 3 from 2020. I didn't realize they came out back to back.
Yes.
You can kind of, I mean, you can definitely tell they came out back to back. They're the same technology. They look exactly the same and function exactly the same in 99% of aspects. So I gotta say, as someone who's never played Resident Evil anything, I did very much enjoy it. I did find it kind of amusing in some aspects because the Resident Evil games 1 through 4 share a lot of, I'm not going to say story beats, but thematic beats. Like, why is it always someone tosses you a rocket launcher to finish off an enemy? Like, everyone does that. Everyone throws a rocket launcher to somebody. Like, it happens in the first game. It happens in the second game. I'm pretty sure it happens in 4. Like, it's just like, hey, there's a giant dude coming at you. Enjoy this rocket launcher. So, I really liked Resident Evil 2's use of the idea that there was no more static camera angles. They couldn't scare you by hiding a zombie like behind a bookcase that you couldn't really see very well because the camera angle was like that, which they did a lot in Resident Evil 1. Now, because they changed to a third-person dynamic camera, they had to figure out a different way to like hide enemies everywhere. And I gotta say, with the amount of bullets it takes to actually bring down a zombie, they're scary. Like it is a random number of headshots. It's not a guaranteed kill, which I think they changed in Resident Evil 3, because I could guarantee a kill in 3 with about 3 bullets to the head, where in 2 it seemed to be a random amount. it was extremely like I loved the idea of boarding up the windows to stop additional enemies from spawning in areas. Was that in the original too?
No, it's not.
Okay, that was a great idea. That was an absolutely stellar idea. The idea that I could make an area safer. I mean, generally safer. You still had like Mr. X later on. Which, by the way, confusing note for everybody. In June, when they updated Resident Evil 2 and 3 for next gen consoles, they updated the PC version as well to a different API, a graphics API. It actually invalidated all the old mods. So I couldn't have Thomas the Tank Engine as my Mr. X, and it made me very sad.
Or Bikini Mr. X. I love Bikini Mr. X.
Yeah, the Bikini Mr. X. The one, so I really liked how Resident Evil 2 progressed. So I gotta ask you, Kyle, because you played the original.
Yes,
Like Sherry Birkin, was she like big in the original? Did she have a lot of parts? Did you play as other characters?
So the way it worked was, you didn't play as other characters. Playing as Ada was new.
Playing as Sherry was new.
And playing as Sherry was also new.
Okay.
The way it worked in the original was each disc. They had 2 discs.
Mm-hmm.
One disc was the Leon disc. One disc was the Claire disc.
Okay.
And then depending on which one you put in first is how your playthrough went. So that's what they did at the beginning of this game, where you get to choose who you want to play as first.
Yeah,
which I liked. It was a nice callback.
Yeah, it was pretty neat. I watched a little bit of a Leon A playthrough, and I was like, oh, cool. Like this scene right here, Leon actually goes down that road, or right here, like something else happens. And
yeah, slight differences.
Yeah, the slight differences like that. The one thing I have to admit is I didn't actually do the true ending yet for Resident Evil 2. That's something I do have to do. So I did the main playthrough. I didn't do the secondary playthrough as of yet. And then I was going to do the Hunk playthrough, the 4th Survivor.
Yeah, the weird mini game.
Yeah. And there's Tofu Survivor? I don't even know what that is.
Tofu was a extra character they put into like the mercenaries mode.
Okay.
Where you have to try to escape. It's the same thing as Hunks, except for you play a giant thing of tofu.
Oh. Okay.
And it's really awesome.
So
you'll enjoy that.
Was the story in the original Resident Evil 2 the same as the remake? Like with the Birkins?
Yes, but the original was a lot less detailed.
Okay. So it was just like Dr. Birkin or something.
Yeah, they didn't go in as much detail. They didn't go as hard into things.
But was it still Nest and the G virus?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because
the key points were all the same.
Okay.
They just added some more to make more character development, like the professor, not the female Birkin,
and Annette.
Annette, that's her name.
Yeah,
I knew it was something weird. Annette, like in the first game, nothing at all, nothing really detailed about her. This one was like she had a lot more character development. There was a lot.
I was gonna say she's pretty developed in the game.
Now, for what character development they added, they took away from some other characters.
Like who? Like who?
Chief Irons was a big character that they took away from.
And this one, he's like a serial killer. He's a bad dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the way they portrayed him in this is, yes, he's a serial killer, but he was more about, working for Umbrella to...
Yeah. He was an Umbrella stooge.
Yeah. Which, in the first game, he was too, but he was a lot creepier because his whole shtick was he was into taxidermy.
Okay.
He stalked, assaulted, and then killed the mayor's daughter. And then taxidermied her so he could be with her forever.
Oh.
And because he did all this, Umbrella found out and, held it over his head for him to work for them.
Oh my god!
So it took away from his creepy factor. Now they did well with the whole playing as Sherry into the creepy orphanage and stuff and making him creepy.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was creepy on a different level than
stuffing,
because when you first catch him in the game in 2, he's in his office with the mayor's daughter laying across his desk, and he's like, "Oh, she was killed. There was nothing I could do. Boo hoo, boo hoo." And then you find out later is like
Okay, yeah.
he's going to taxidermy her and turn her into a living doll for him to
Oh,
have his way with.
okay. I do understand why they changed that though. Like, I think, okay, that is a different level of creepy than he has in the remake. Like that, those are two different worlds of creepy. Okay.
Yes.
The one that you're describing is more like a deeply weird horror creepy. The one where he's in the remake he's just kind of like an evil person creepy. It's not to that degree.
Yes. They also changed Ada up a little bit. Like,
I mean, she seemed like Ada that I remember from 4.
yeah, she pretty much is. Like, 4 was a huge transition for her because now she's just more the super spy.
Yeah.
In the original game, she was kind of working for Wesker a little bit, like unknowingly.
Okay. Yeah. In 2, she's just like a mercenary. She like claims she's in the FBI, but she's really just.
But like I said, they gave her more character development in that aspect because they added more to it to develop. Like, second time, like the first game, she's like, she's just after the G virus, and then she pulls a gun on you, and that's how they end that.
All right. So one problem I had with the narrative was I did watch the Leon A playthrough, and at the end of that, Ada and Leon are like standing there. He's got the G virus, and she won't shoot him. And then Annette shoots Ada. And the problem I have with that is, about 5 minutes previously, friggin' William Birkin, Mutant Man, crushes Annette's like spinal column and throws her against a wall. But she just happens to be standing there. She shoots Ada once, and then is like, "My job is done," and dies.
Right.
That was lame. Okay.
You played side B, right? So you played through the whole game once on AB, right?
I played through Claire's A. I haven't played through Leon's B.
Oh, so you're not even done with the fucking game.
I said I didn't get the true ending. So yeah, I haven't beaten side B.
Which is the other half of the game.
Well, it's just it's Leon's stuff during A, correct?
It'll be slightly different, but yes, more or less.
Yeah. I beat side B. Like, I know the story there. I just haven't gotten the true ending, which is you have to beat. Oh, sorry, I beat side A. I still have to beat B to get the true ending.
Yes. So
Okay.
you're technically halfway through.
I did watch Leon's A though to see what was different between those A's. It actually shares the same boss fight at the end. Pretty much, with some changes.
Yes. So you have a bit to still. So that makes me feel less bad that I didn't finish my game.
Don't feel bad. I didn't even finish 3 yet either.
Yeah.
I'm. Jill is in a coma, I think.
All right. So you're pretty. You're about 2/3.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more.
Stars.
Probably about 80%. You're probably about 80%.
Stars.
I'm trying to think of all that happens. You do that, you say. Yeah, you're about 80 to 90% of the way through.
Okay, wow, that is a short game. That is.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
It's
okay.
incredibly short.
Yeah.
So that makes me feel a lot better about the Spooky Spectacular that I didn't fail it because you failed with me.
Well, I'm not going to fail. I'm going to finish it by Monday. We have a whole weekend here.
Yeah, but by the time we get back on here together, it's going to be past Spooky Spectacular.
Okay, but we have a Discord, Kyle, that we can discuss things on, like how we finished our Spooky Spectacular.
Yes, and I plan on doing that. What else we got going on? So how did you feel about the comparison between 3 and 2?
So, I gotta say, 3 is not nearly as good as 2. Like, just in general. 3 is not, it's not as scary. It really isn't. Like, it's trying to be a lot like 2 with the aspect of Nemesis and like, oh, you're trapped in this city. But honestly, it feels less survival horror and more just like, you were right. When you said Nemesis was very scripted, like, Nemesis is incredibly scripted. Mr. X felt like a constant threat. Like, Mr. X was gonna be there. He was hunting you down. Nemesis is like, where is the trigger for his next appearance? It lost a lot with that. So is that how the original 3 actually felt as well?
No. 3 originally felt more like 2 did.
Okay.
The remake of 2, where Nemesis was a constant threat.
Mhm.
Now, there was like scripted points with him sometimes,
Mhm.
but the way it would work is if you went into a sequence of rooms slightly different, he would show up differently at a different spot. Like there was a lot more randomness to it. Like if you picked up a certain gun at a certain point, went down a certain room,
Yeah.
he'll crash through the wall randomly
Okay.
and attack you. But most of the time, he just randomly, periodically show up through different parts of the game. Just like if you're walking down the street to go back to the ammo shop,
Mhm.
you if you went through one section, then turned back around and went back through, all of a sudden he's there and trying to kill you.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely
It was
not
a lot.
how...
It was a lot more creepier because it was more randomized.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's definitely a lot different than how 3 is. The 3 remake.
Three this
is.
time was very scripted, very set piece. It was like, oh, this is the spot where I deal with Nemesis. And
I wonder if they did that based on feedback from 2 that people didn't like getting constantly harassed by Mr. X. I wonder if they just decided to make 3 more of a like cinematic actiony game because of that. Like where they had 2 different market segments where they were like, okay, Resident Evil 2 Remake is the scary horror game. 3 is going to be kind of our more actiony cinematic zombie flick.
yeah, well, I think you're right on that. I think that's what they were going for, and they nailed it to a point. Now, the other problem I have is they cut out a lot of content.
See, I wouldn't know that because I didn't play the original 3, so I wouldn't
The
know how
original
much
3 was a short game, but
Yeah.
it was still longer than
the remake.
the remake of 3.
I mean, the remake of 3 feels compact. Like it feels kind of like I'm watching a movie insofar in terms of
DLC.
yeah, it feels like an expansion pack to 2. Like they were like, "Oh, here's an alternative story." Like it doesn't feel like it doesn't really feel like it qualifies as its own separate game.
Yeah, and that's what bugs me.
I can totally get that. I do not like 3 as much as 2. I think 2 was pretty masterful in nearly all of its aspects. Like they nailed 2 completely. 3 feels like it was already in development. They saw the success of 2. They were like, let's just get this out and get it done. And I mean, I think it's still a good game. I just don't think it could have just been an expansion pack for 2.
It didn't deserve all the clout that they tried to put on.
Yeah. I'm really hoping like 4 is one of my favorite Resident Evil games, period, and I'm really hoping the 4 remake nails it, which the gameplay looks great. So far.
Since you brought that up, we can actually talk about that because I have nothing to talk about as far as Condemned 2 because I failed.
Why not? Why don't
Because
you?
I didn't play it. I said that at the beginning of the episode.
I know.
I already called myself out, so you don't need to rag on me.
Well, Resident Evil 4 remake looks wonderful. We did talk about this last show, I think.
But no, we talked about it while I was at your house.
Okay, yeah. All right, I remember. Yeah,
and I stopped by to drop off some stuff.
Yeah. So I think the remake looks great. The one big difference is because I've made this argument. Resident Evil 4 came out in what, like 2005, 2006, somewhere around there, and its graphics weren't as bad as 2 and 3. So its changeover to a new graphic scheme isn't as big of a shift as the previous 2. I think it's going to be really good. The only question I have is how differentiated is it going to be from 2 and 3? Like very much so. They've showed off that you always have a knife now. You don't have to like equip it.
Yeah, that was wasn't that in regular 4 too? You always had the knife. No, you had to equip that.
You had to equip it. I remember 4 being kind of clunky, but I also remember having 4 on the Wii and being like, "Oh my gosh, I could just point and shoot people."
Yeah,
this is crazy.
So with some of the things, you can tell they're definitely going to add on more, like they did with RE2 remake, is they're going to tag in some more storylines and change up some of the story notes to probably make a more cohesive, longer story, which I'm okay with.
Yeah, the story was not particularly cohesive in the original 4. It also didn't make much sense. Like, what? Leon Kennedy is going to save the president's daughter.
I mean, and there was in betweeny stuff that lets you know about all that and how that all got started via the books and everything else, which is fine. But the like you said, it was very much into Action Town. It was more of an action horror than anything.
Oh, it was totally like it was 100% action. You killed tons of people.
And I think what they're going to do with this one is, like you said, like what they showed is Sherry Birkin. I mean, not Sherry Birkin. Ashley Graham is going to be less of just a straight MacGuffin of like.
I think you're gonna play her. You're probably gonna play as her.
I mean, you played as her in the first 4.
Oh yeah, but not very long.
She was just a puzzle section in a run and hide.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, it was not particularly good if I remember correctly. But I think they're gonna give her more agency in this one instead of just being like the waif that needs rescued. I think they're gonna actually make her like a real character,
which I'm good with.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic. She was just like, you could have replaced her with a brooch or a map in Resident Evil 4, and you wouldn't have lost much. If they make her actually engaging and interesting and a good, well executed character in the remake, that'll be a huge step forward for that game.
Yes. Roman Salazar's going to be back in it, which I'm super okay with.
Who is that?
It is, I believe, is the main villain. Yep. Oh no, it's the little conquistador midget guy, Roman Salazar. Yeah, he's the little. I thought I was right. I was right the first time. It's Sadler's the main bad guy.
I was gonna say I thought Sadler. Yeah, okay.
Sadler's the main bad guy. Salazar's the creepy little midget guy.
Okay.
The Napoleon guy. I'm really looking forward to him being back, and I really hope they extend his character a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. I remember him, and I don't really remember him being a character as much as just like kind of there.
Yeah, he was kind of there for a little bit. You know, had some good dialogue, and then got a knife through his hand, and then he got eaten by a giant monster to become an even bigger monster.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, okay, I remember that.
I'm really hoping they do more with him. Mendez, I really hope they do more with.
Oh my gosh, you're really testing me here. I haven't played this game in like.
Mendez is the big Mr. X guy from the very beginning that you fight.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then he turns into a centipede.
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. His like spine rips out. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I like his new character design. It looks a lot better.
I think a lot of them are going to look a lot better. Like in general.
Yeah, that's true. I hope they keep him as like the giant hulking guy that just beats the piss out of you. Because that's what I liked about him in the first game is Leon, the whole way up until you meet him, he's like, yeah, I'm the cool spy guy. Watch me spin kick zombies. And then he goes to do it to Mendez, and Mendez just chucks him like a piece of paper.
Yeah, they have a lot of room to make this very well executed, and I think they're going to nail it. The bigger question I have is, once they're done with 4, are they going to do 5 and 6?
That's a good question. I hope not.
Yeah, I very agree on that one.
Actually, you know what? 5, yes. 6, no.
Well, yeah, nobody wants Resident Evil 6. I mean, that's just a general statement.
Yeah, although, not even Resident Evil 6 wanted Resident Evil 6.
To be fair, though, they have a huge opportunity. Like, what if they made a Resident Evil 6 remake that was good? Like, what if they redeemed that game?
There's no way to redeem that.
No, Kyle, listen, hear me out. Like, Resident Evil 6 remake, and make it good.
Not
That's
gonna
it.
happen.
That's the tweet. That's the whole thing.
Yeah. You need to play Revelations. I think you need to play the first Revelations because I think you would enjoy that so much. Legitimately enjoy it.
The first not the second one.
The second one's good too, but I feel like the first one is way better.
Okay.
So yeah, we have a lot. We have a lot coming up. We have Callisto Protocol.
That comes out in November, December. December. Okay.
We have starting tomorrow the Resident Evil DLC and the Bayonetta.
Oh yeah, tomorrow's the Resident Evil DLC. I forgot about that. Shadow of Rose or something like that.
Yep.
I actually, like I said, I picked up a PC copy of Resident Evil Village because I wanted to play that again on PC and then play the Shadow of Rose DLC. So I will look into doing that because I do want to play that. I'm very curious to see if it's actually going to be good DLC or not. A lot of questions there.
We'll find out because we'll find out. I gotta scrape together some money so I can pick it up tomorrow. I was debating on picking up Bayonetta as well over the weekend.
I mean, if you get it, let me know how it is. I'm not gonna pick it up for a little while.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You're
like I'm so what?
You're so bad at picking up games when they come out.
Yeah, because I don't have any pressing urge to play them immediately. Usually,
I do.
There's exceptions, but I generally speaking am
Xenoblade was one of them.
Should have waited for those patches, Kyle.
The patches didn't help. I still can't beat that quest. I still can't do any of it.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. So, I mean, let me know how it is because I'm very curious. I've heard the combat is really good and the story is terrible.
What, for Bayonetta 3?
Yeah, not like a fun terrible, like legitimately bad.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's why I was kind of really I was looking forward to it, but I wasn't looking forward to it because there was just no way. Like,
yeah, I read kind of like a synopsis of the story, and I'm like, all right, I don't know how to feel about this. So,
but to be fair, the first two games storyline was kind of in Toontown too.
Yeah, but all right, they were fun though. Like they were fun. They were stupid and enjoyable. I have heard this one's just stupid.
Well, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
All right, Kyle. I'm gonna need a review in November for the Thanksgiving spectacular.
Yeah, I spent about 2 weeks trying to find a fun name for that, and I couldn't, so I gave up. I gave up trying to find a sweet name.
You know what we're gonna do for November? We're gonna gobble up games. Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, there we go.
We're
gonna change our names to the Game Gobblers.
That sounds. I don't know if I want to use that word.
Why not? Why not? Why don't you want to use it?
I mean, it's apropos for you, but it might be considered offensive, depending on.
I don't understand how you would find that offensive, but okay, all right, I'll take your word for it.
Some people get mad over that, especially when a straight guy says it.
What, Game Goblin?
No.
What's wrong with Game Goblin?
Don't worry about it now. We're not talking about this. So, I'm looking through some quick stuff for Halloween sales while we were talking.
Oh, yeah, Steam's got their Halloween sale up, I believe.
Visage is on sale.
Is Visage any good?
A lot of people like it. A lot of people love it.
It's on Game Pass. I've just never bothered to try it.
Go for it. We're in the month for it. Oh, wait. You're too far behind on other games. You're not allowed to.
Oh, then why are you looking at games? Why you can't play Condemned 2? Why?
I'm just looking to see what's on sale.
Whoa. You should be playing Condemned 2, not looking.
Yeah, as soon as I'm done having technical difficulties, I absolutely will.
You know, if those technical difficulties persist for more than 4 hours, you should probably talk to your doctor.
Speaking of our Spooky Spectacular, we're just going to make the announcement now. When we get to the month of December, we've come to the conclusion we're going to do a very Cthulhu Christmas.
That's right. Which is an actual video game. That's not just
Yeah.
like a theme.
There is a game on Steam called Cthulhu Saves Christmas,
Yes,
and we are going to play through it, and it's going to be awesome and fun.
that is correct. I assume the game is awesome and fun. If it's not, I'm just gonna yell at Kyle the entire time.
Yeah, whatever. Dan and Greg are yelling at me about me making them watch the Halloween series, so they'll get over it, or they won't. I don't
Why,
care.
why would they be upset about watching the Halloween series?
Because the last two were really bad.
Oh,
They
okay. That's fair. I've seen Halloween 1 and maybe 2. Those ones were good. I like those.
Yeah, but you saw the originals, right? Not the
Yeah, I'm talking about Halloween literally 1 and 2, like the original
yeah, no,
John Carpenter
the
ones.
new set. The new set were really rough.
Oh, yeah. I generally don't
The
watch.
first one was amazing. The other one's not so much.
Yeah, that sounds right.
So we are dubbing this year's Christmas special the Very Cthulhu Christmas. Now, do we want to play through some of the other Cthulhu games while we're at it?
What other Cthulhu games?
Call of Cthulhu, Sunken City.
Those aren't Christmas themed. So
Yeah, but the other Christmas themed game I want to play is like $1 bajillion.
what,
And that's
what-
the Batman Returns SC and PS1 game.
the Batman? There was a Batman Returns PS1 game.
Oh yeah.
I had no idea.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
I had legitimately no idea that there was.
I know, and it was awesome looking.
That's pretty impressive.
One of the other games I actually do, speaking of which, is over the month I'm going to try picking up the Persona 5 Royal Edition.
Everyone loves that game. I tried it for like an hour and I thought it was garbage. And I will get comments about that statement, but I will stand by it. Persona is garbage, and people that like Persona tend to be garbage too. Come at me.
Whoa.
Come at me.
That seems a little.
No, that is my firm objective opinion.
So I have a feeling I know why you do not like.
What could it be, Kyle?
Persona 5 is very anime.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe that is probably the reason why you dislike it.
It's trash.
It's not trash. It's just-
Trash. Trash.
so I guess the next thing we got to talk about is like, are you going to pick up the DLC and play it right away, or are you gonna beat your other games first?
I'm gonna beat my other games first. I'm not in any like I said. I don't rush and usually buy the thing day of. So I'm gonna beat the stuff that I have remaining first. Plus, I'm obligated to do that before the end of October.
Yes. Well, I just was asking because if you're gonna hold off onto it especially for the Rose DLC, I was going to hold off on the Rose DLC for.
Well, I
until you-
gotta play through Village again to get to the Rose DLC because I want that fresh in my mind.
Fair enough. So I might have to play ahead of you, anyways.
Yeah, do it. And be like,
Um,
Rose does some things. There are shadows of her. And I'll be like, "Ah,
I
that's
do and
close."
don't. I do and don't want to play it right away. But I also realized I played and beat 8 months and months before you did.
That is correct. If you remember, you beat it, gave it to me, and then 6 months later, I beat it.
Yeah, after playing it for 4 days.
Yeah, exactly.
It took you 6 months to play 4 days.
Yeah, there was a large warm up period.
Yeah, so I think I'll just do that again, just so if it's really bad, I can give you the pre-warning.
Okay, cool. I'm all right with that.
Yeah. Hey, beat Xenoblade yet?
I'm very close, Kyle. There are a lot of side quests.
Yeah, there is.
I don't want to get to the end and not have all the side quests done. It annoys me.
Yeah, well, it annoyed me too, but I got over it.
But aren't they all just figments of an imagination of the past? I'm lying. I know the actual story. It's stupid. I don't like the story. I don't like the end story stuff.
I just want you to get to the end sequence so the one thing can happen and you can be like, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, all right. I'm gonna point out a couple things right off the bat. Wait, actually, I'm not because we're at the end of today's session, anyways. today's show is drawing to its conclusion. I will rant about Xenoblade in the next show because I have strong opinions on the story that's been revealed to me so far, and how much I think it actually compromises the rest of the game. So I do have strong opinions about that.
I know you do. I think we talked about this before, like with the Mobius guys. They don't make sense.
They still don't make sense. Like, I know the plot now. Like, I know the whole like origin story and everything, and I don't think it makes any sense.
It doesn't.
So yes, we will talk about this on the next show, though.
Okay. And then you also have to play Onibanchara.
Oh my god, yeah, I do. I mean, it's gonna be a one-word review. It's gonna be boobs. You know.
Yeah.
You know.
But I'm saving my copy for when you start playing yours, so we can play together.
Why? Just why?
Because we're a team, Andrew.
Okay. All right. I will let you know when I get to Onichambara.
Yeah. So the next thing will be in our November month, which is going to be nothing special this year. I couldn't think anything clever enough or anything interesting enough.
Game Goblin. Game Goblin.
Yeah. So there's going to be that. December, the plan is to do a Very Cthulhu Christmas on the gaming side.
I cannot wait for that. I think that's going to be fun.
We're going to be doing a Christmas theme something going on for the movie side of things. The only thing we have that we definitely want to see as a cohesive unit is we want to see a Violent Night, where Santa Claus is an action hero.
I saw that. That's with the guy from Stranger Things, right?
Yep.
All right, you gotta. I cannot wait to hear the review of that. I'm very excited for that film.
Yes. So you'll know.
Okay.
The other thing we're going to do is I'm working on getting Brian Colville, my friend who's a professional Magic player, very, very big on the YouTube scene right now. He quickly went from 200 followers to like 6K in like less than a month.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got quite a following.
Okay.
I'm trying to work on scheduling a time with him to see if he can do another show with us, and see if we can just turn it to like a biannual thing where first half of the year and second half of the year we get him on just for one show to talk crap about Magic.
Wait, biannual is twice per year? I thought it was every 2 years.
Either or, right? Semi-annual. How about that?
Okay, that's much better. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because right now he's sitting at 22,000 subscribers.
Whoa, that's a lot. Especially
I was in his first 100. I was in his first 100. So
do you have proof?
Yes.
Okay, you better be ready to present it.
All right, I'll show it to you.
Not to me. You have to show it to him. Like, I don't care.
Cole knows. Cole's known me for enough years.
All right, that sounds cool.
Let's do some of our closing up stuff. Check out our Facebook, Twitter, Discord, YouTube channel. So, yep, check out our Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Discord. Check out all that good stuff. Leave us comments. Interact with the pages. The more you interact, the more we can do for the show. It allows us to get feedback. It allows us to be able to like, hey, this is what sucks. This is what doesn't suck. This is what some people like. This is what some people don't like.
You know what sucks? Anime.
It does not suck. You just gotta watch the right kind.
No, there is no right kind. Saying there's a right anime is like, yeah, it's like saying there's a stop sign that always tells you to go.
There is.
What is it?
It's the stop sign that always tells you to say go.
I don't believe that's a real thing. Anime's trash.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. Kyle's gonna. I know you're gonna edit this out. I know
some of it.
I know.
No, I'll probably leave this argument in. I'll leave this argument in.
You better.
The only thing I plan on editing is some other things.
Every single word I say.
No, because you carry the show
on my back.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, I think we'll call that a night. Have a good night. Have a good fright.
Later, everybody.